Okay, so we got we got a little clarity on Lamar Jackson yesterday. So Lamar came out and had a tweet, and we've been talking about this for 3 weeks. It's like, would somebody create clarity? And he came out and he said, hey, thanks for your support. I'm reading this for our radio audience. Thanks for the support regarding my injuries. Here's an update. Suffered a grade 2 sprain, borderline of a strain 3, inflammation all over my knee, remains unstable. I'm in good spirits. I'm recovering. I wish I could be out there with my guys, but I can't give 100%. And I'm still hopeful we'll have a chance. All right, I like that. So a lot of times, let's say you work for a company, and you're looking for answers. You've got a dilemma, and you're looking for answers. Sometimes the answer is provided outside of your building. Like your rival, your competitor does something, and it creates clarity for you. Oh, we have to do something. So I'm going to give you 3 names that are creating clarity for the Baltimore Ravens. Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, and an emerging Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett in the last month, I got to be honest, it's kind of good. And my guess is, though I don't love Deshaun Watson and think his personal conduct is disgusting and gross, an off season, he'll probably come back a bit more refined. It's hard to take a couple years off, inserted midseason in a good division. That's hard. He wasn't very good, but that's hard. So Burrow's arguably, after Mahomes, the best quarterback. Deshaun should be at least a B to B plus quarterback. Got a good old line. And Kenny Pickett looks like dude can ball. Dude can spin it. I mean, he's pretty good at the end of the year. So you can go ahead and move off Lamar. But here's the Ravens with Lamar starting and without him starting. And you cannot have the 4th best quarterback in your division. With them starting, they give you 350 yards of offense, 24 points, 8-4. Without him, they're honestly a Canadian Football League team. Well, they got a great defense. They got a great coach. Okay, interesting. So if they move off Lamar and trade him and decide, let's start over, let's go to the 4th best quarterback in every division in football, because you're not going to bring somebody in. They're not going to be better than Joe Burrow. It's doubtful, because Kenny Pickett started for 4 years in college, that they'll be as good or as refined as Kenny Pickett. And again, I do think Deshaun, with an off season, starting the season, camp OTA, probably going to be a little bit better next year, right? They'll be the 4th best quarterback in the division. So let's go to the 4th best quarterback in every division. Zach Wilson, Davis Mills, Russell Wilson, and Kenny Pickett, although he got really good at the end of the year. No playoffs. Oh, by the way, 2 of those teams have great defenses. If Baltimore decides we can just play defense. Jets and Denver have great defenses. But let's go to the other side. Taylor Heineke, Carson Wentz, Justin Fields, Marcus Mariota, and whoever started for the Rams. In that instance, again, you have a great coach, Sean McVay. You have a great, very good roster in Washington. No playoffs. 0 for 8. No playoffs. With great coaches, Harbaugh, Sean McVay, with great defenses, Jets, Denver. Washington's got a very good roster. So you can convince yourself, hey, defense, we win with defense. You know who's got a good defense? Saints, Washington, Denver, Jets, New England. None are in the playoffs. So the clarity for Baltimore, if they're confused in the building, has been provided outside the building. Burrow, Deshaun with an entire offseason in Cleveland, and emerging Kenny Pickett. You better sign him. You got to get on it. Staley's really, really smart, and he got into the NFL and moved up the ladder very quickly to become the Chargers head coach. But Brian Daboll had far more experience, and the Chargers interviewed both and chose Staley. Brian Daboll wasn't a ladder climber. He's an NFL lifer. This is his life. He wants to be a football coach, and he's been around the league with a lot of coaches and a lot of experience. He's coach of the year, right? Probably. Staley moved up that ladder very quickly and pressed the right people. But I've said this year, I feel like the last 2 years, the Chargers are sort of making it up and don't have an identity. The Giants have an absolute identity. And when you look at teams that have an identity, Pete Carroll, the Steelers late in the year, Andy Reid's teams, Harbaugh's teams, It's a lot of veterans that know how to create an identity, things you can count on daily, weekly, monthly. The Chargers, Brandon Staley, wouldn't play starters in the preseason because the game was, quote, meaningless. Then why play starters for 3.5 quarters last week in a game that was meaningless? It's been announced today that Mike Williams won't make the trip. Injury so severe, he won't play. That's the difference in the ballgame. Why are you playing Mike Williams? Why did you play Bosa, who got dinged up? Why are you playing Derwin James? These are really great players, essential to winning, but they have a history of getting dinged up. It's okay. Some guys just get dinged up. Mike Williams is a huge athlete. Derwin James is a rangy, talented guy, but he plays with so much velocity and speed, he gets banged up a lot. So does Bosa. So this job is a really attractive job. We've said before, this may be the best one on the market because you get Justin Herbert, you get Keenan Allen, you get a Bosa. There's a lot of things. They need to shore up their D-line, the middle of it, but this is very, very close to a Super Bowl winning team. It's a really good ride. I can't tell you how many years in a row, guys that I know who bet, for a living, they all love the Chargers every year. This is the year, and this is the year. And I just feel like if they go to Jacksonville and lose, and maybe situationally it's weird, Sean Payton sitting out there, living on the beach, I'd make the move. You see this all the time. You could go to law school. You could go to, what's a great law school? Virginia, Duke, Cal, wherever. And you get a job at a firm, junior partner, you work your way up, and then you get your first big case, and you're 32. I'm going to take the 42-year-old attorney who's been in that big case before. He understands the judge. He understands the nuances and the texture of a big case. He's been in 8. I just feel like Brandon Staley, he went to the right law school, right? Like he's got all the brain power, but I don't know. The team doesn't have an identity. Justin Herbert, Superman, is not an identity. That I feel like, remember last year when they're going for it at like the 30-yard line against the Raiders, and you're like, I asked Jimmy Johnson about that. And I think Jimmy said it on the air. It may have been off the air. I'm like, what did you make of that? And he goes, it's risk and reward. He goes, coaches play that game all the time. If you got that first down, so what? You needed 6 more first downs just to get in field goal range. You don't take that risk. There's no reward. You're just getting a first down. He just didn't understand. The analytics. This year, by the way, they don't do that as much. So his brand last year, analytics, go for it. They pulled way back on it. He's making it up. He doesn't have an identity. He's just smart. He's the smart lawyer who went to Duke and but he's not good in the room, right? He's not good in the court. He's kind of arrogant. The judge doesn't like him. The jury's turned off by him. Experience matters. Andy Reid has been in so many of these moments. There's a reason. Harbaugh in the playoffs. Tomlin is an underdog. Andy Reid in big spots. Man, you cannot replace. Doesn't matter where you went to law school and how smart you are. How are you in the room, in the moment? And I think Staley playing Mike Williams, and it's not like we're backseating this thing. Like we were like, what are you doing? Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.